Hey guys, welcome back to another album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the alternative metal band Sevendust's new album, All I See Is War. Or I guess it's sort of new. It came out on the 11th, today's the 19th. I'm still reviewing it because I really don't care that I'm late, I got sick. I really wanted to talk about this album because I have been a casual fan of Sevendust for a couple years now. I haven't dove too deep into their extensive discography because I know they have 12 albums, which is quite a lot. I mean, I know they've been around for like 20 years, 22 years, around there. And so this band is not new to the scene at all, you know, this band's been kicking it for a long time. And they have a pretty consistent sound. I mean, I haven't really heard a song by Sevendust that doesn't sound like Sevendust. I really like their consistency and everything, so I was really curious to check this out. I checked it out, I've listened to it quite a few times, and I thought I would just give my thoughts on it. We're going to get into the track-by-track album review, starting with track 1, which is Dirty. This is the song I listen to probably the most frequently on the album. It's also the lead single, which was a great choice for a lead single, honestly, it really was. It has that kind of melodic chorus that grows on you over time, because when I first heard the song, I wasn't too crazy about it. I liked it, but I didn't think it was anything too special. Until about like the 4th or 5th listen, then I started really loving it. The line where LeJohn says, "I'm gonna die whole," is probably one of the catchiest lines on the entire album. Like, it just replays in my head all the time, literally. The song starts off strong with the line, "I'm no stranger to this thing called war," which kind of ties back into the theme of the title of this album, All I See Is War. LeJohn's vocals here are just as proficient as on previous Sevendust material. He's still hitting those crazy high notes with that soulful tone he's got, just like in the late 90s on albums like Home. And the guitar solo was a bit of a surprise to me, actually, because people usually label this band nu metal, and if you know anything about nu metal, you know that there's almost no guitar solos in nu metal, but there are several guitar solos all over this album. Very good guitar solos, actually. Not too technical or fancy, but it's got a lot of feel and emotion to it. I really love the way this song ends, too, by the chorus kind of trailing off into the last couple brief, harsh guitar notes, which leads really nicely into the next track, track 2, God Bites His Tongue. LeJohn's edited vocals in the verse kind of bothered me a bit on first listen, especially because he sounds like he's got some auto-tune on him or something, I'm not really sure. And there's like a little part where his voice kind of like glitches in and out, which was weird. I still think it's kind of weird, but I don't really hate it anymore. This song has more of a traditional rock feel than Dirty did. And it's more melodic throughout, except for in the bridge, because in the bridge the guitars kind of take on this more like syncopated, really hard-hitting metal approach, which I really like. And then the melodic singing returns, of course. I wouldn't call this a favorite of mine, but I really do appreciate a lot of aspects about this song, namely the big epic chorus. Track 3 is Medicated. I actually opted out of listening to this third single before the album came out, and as I listen, I can see why they'd release this as a single, because it really just launches the listener straight into this very energetic song, because there's LeJohn's very passionate high notes and the fiercely rhythmic guitars. And I do have to say, this is one of the catchier choruses on the album, and it's probably one of LeJohn's better vocal performances, honestly. He just sounds so emotional, so invested in this song for sure. There are some interesting Red-esque elements of this song, especially towards the end of the song where there are strings and stuff like that. As much as I enjoy this one, I don't come back to it quite as much as some of the others on this album. Track 4 is Unforgiven. I love the menacing verse in this song. Rhythmically, it sounds a lot like several other verses on this album, but there seems to be a lot more heart and energy put specifically into this song, like they just gave it their all. Again, the chorus here reminds me of Red a little bit, especially something on Of Beauty and Rage. And Morgan doing the screams in the background reminds me of the Animosity album by Sevendust. And I haven't heard too many Sevendust albums, just a disclaimer, I've heard about 3 of them, like from start to finish, I think, which is, I know, ridiculous because they have like 12. I do consider Animosity my favorite album by them at the moment, so I really liked how it kind of went back to that sound. And the bridge takes an entertaining turn with the guitar work. I love the well-constructed melody laced throughout this entire song, along with the low-tuned, monstrous sounding guitars. Certainly a favorite of mine. Track 5 is Sickness. This verse has a very tame, kind of smooth atmosphere to it with this beautiful guitar picking. I absolutely love the guitar work in this bridge. One of my favorite moments on the entire album. When the chorus hits, we see that this song functions as more of a power ballad than a heavy song. I love the way the guitars work with the great harmonizing vocals, especially in the second verse. Not to compare another song on this album to Red, but I'm gonna compare it to Red. Honestly, the bridge of this song where the strings enter just sounds like Pure of Beauty and Rage, which is Red's best album, I think. The brief guitar solo has a lot of feel to it also, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorite songs on here. It's the more emotional one, a more ballad sounding, and it's just one I come back to a lot. And now we move on to track 6, which is Cheers. This song has very low tuned guitars. I think it's in like drop G sharp or something. That's the lowest note I could pick out. It might even be lower than that. I really love low tuning cause Meshuggah. A rhythm-driven verse is in this song, along with the anthemic sounding chorus with a faster pace. The melody here, just like in Unforgiven, is well made and stands out as being one of the best melodies hands down on this album. And the way the guitar transitions from playing low singular notes to playing the chords in the chorus make this song ever shifting and entertaining to listen to. The bridge has soaring lead vocals and another brief guitar solo, this one being a solo that goes up and down some scales. Track 7 is Risen. The verse of this song sounds almost identical to the verse of Medicated in the vocal department, because you have LeJohn kind of singing this certain melody and then he goes for a higher note during the second line and all that stuff. It's just completely reiterated here. The guitars sound like a machine gun throughout the verse while they become long drawn-out chords in the chorus. The vocal melody does sound similar to other Sevendust songs, and I do think this is one of the weaker verses and choruses on the album, but I do enjoy the bridge a lot. It kind of makes up for that. The monstrous guitar tones have a lot of variety and work well with each other, but yeah, not one of my favorites, even though I do like it and it's pretty entertaining to listen to. Track 8 is Moments. I find this easily to be the weakest song, hands down, on the album. The main guitar riff is decent, but nothing too special, and there's just not much in this song that really catches my attention. The pre-chorus is somewhat interesting because of the crowded sound we get with the thundering drums. It just sounds like so much is going on at once. But the chorus just does absolutely nothing for me, just like most of the song. Which is a shame because I do like a couple things about this song, including the addition of the piano in the second verse, and the guitar solo was pretty cool too. Track 9 is Not Original. Ironically, the song titled Not Original is the most unique and interesting and original on the album, and also definitely the ballad of the album, definitely the softest track here. We have an intro and chorus that resembles Living Things era Linkin Park to an extreme. And then we have a verse with the calm guitars and LeJohn's soaring vocals. The chorus is where it truly reminds me of that era of Linkin Park, except for a little bit more guitar driven, I guess. This was a weird choice for a single, I think, especially because I didn't really know how to feel about this when I first heard it, but I do think it's a good song. Not one of my favorites, but not one of my least favorites either. I especially enjoy the vocals in this song. They're very emotional sounding, but also very crystal clear and just very clean at the same time. I really enjoy that. Track 10 is Descend. To be perfectly honest, I easily forget about this song's existence while the album is playing. The chord progression in this pre-chorus is actually fantastic. It leads into the chorus very nicely, and certain softer portions of this song, especially in the guitar work, actually remind me of Flyleaf. And I should probably return to this one more often because I do like this one. It's like just the one I don't think about for some reason. The slight buzz in the mix does bug me just a tad throughout the song, but that's just like a small production issue. Overall, it's a good song. I just don't have a whole lot to say about it. Track 11 is Life Deceives You, which is a really cool song title, by the way. Sounds really like dark and moody. The way the chords are constructed in this song, along with the guitar work and the epic chorus, this song just screams closing track to me. Yet, it isn't the closing track, it's the second to last track, which is weird. I just love the atmosphere of this song, with Morgan screaming in the background and LeJohn singing straight from the heart the whole time. The bridge has a sense of climbing to a climax, and it's just fantastic. It's a monster of a song. Definitely one of my favorites for sure. It just has a really cool atmosphere. It's just something I can get lost in very easily. And now we move on to track 12, which is the actual closing track to this album, The Truth. The choice to make this song the closing song instead of Life Deceives You is strange to me because a song this upbeat and energetic sounding would have probably fit better in the first half of the album, I think. The vocals are layered interestingly in the intense verse, and the chorus seems to be more groove-centered than anything. It's definitely an entertaining listen, and I enjoy how fast-paced it is. I love LeJohn's vocal performance here in the bridge of the song when the guitars, they start sounding very uneasy and just aggressive. And I think because of its energy and how upbeat it is, it's one of the better songs on the album, especially because, you know, it's just so interesting. It kind of sounds blues inspired or something, like, I don't know what it is, it just sounds pretty unique. And overall, it's another Sevendust album that sounds just like Sevendust. This is a collection of songs with very passionate vocals, energetic guitar work, and overall just a great sound. I think I will return to some of the songs like Dirty, Life Deceives You, The Truth, Unforgiven, Cheers, etc. for years to come. Even the weaker tracks are pretty good. And it also makes me want to check out more Sevendust because yes, I know I need to check them out. But anyway, what I would rate this album is probably a moderate 8 out of 10. I don't give out very moderate scores, but I mean, like, if I had to explain them, it'd be like an 8.5, you know, but I don't like doing decimals because screw math. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this review of All I See Is War by Sevendust. Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.